motion. Have a second? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we'll get down to the citizens' opportunity for comment. Public comment reminder. The citizens' opportunity to address the council on items not on the agenda. This agenda item is set aside for comments from the public on topics of city business other than those listed on the agenda. Please understand that the council will not take any action on your comments at this meeting. In accordance with Iowa's open meetings law, the mayor and city council welcome comments from the public pursuant to the adopted rules of procedure of the Alleman City Council. At no time is it appropriate to use profane language, obscene and slanderous language. The mayor may limit each speaker to 5 minutes. Okay, having said that, we also, the next item, the open forum for traffic control. We understand that we'll be talking about that, but if there's any members of the audience that wish to address the council about anything on their mind, we would now take that. State your name, address, and let's have it. Okay. Having not heard any of those, we will move on to the open forum on traffic control. This is the residents' input on ways on possible one-way streets, speed bumps, pedestrian traffic on streets. As you all know, you see, we have a lot of construction going on in town, and then they'll come back in with overlay, and we've got school started. And we'd like to get an idea of what the residents of Alleman think about, what the council should consider. And so we would open up this forum and meeting for you to address the council on your thoughts.
So Mayor, I've got some maps that are paper copy of that I can hand out, so
Yeah.
I can see a little bit better.
That'd be great. Everybody, this is Forrest Aldrich, and he is our engineer from Feaster and Kin. He's been working closely with us on the project, on the construction project with storm sewers and asphalting and that. So he's a technical expert on these kinds of things. And so if you have any questions, you would address the council or Mr. Aldrich.
Where are you guys thinking about doing the meeting? 134.
Yeah, well, we're just in that phase. I'm sure that we will probably have to do down the road. I mean, they've been there before, and it's nice, flat asphalt. That's what my experience.
Or uptown or anything. I don't know. I think we had them for what, 20, 15 years? I mean,
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
then we put stop signs up, and they were kind of in the wrong spot for stop signs, so we kind of took them out. We were hoping that the stop signs would help.
They
That's the
definitely
history of it.
And they definitely moved through that road rapidly.
And I've talked to all the citizens down 4th and 3rd Street, well, not all of them, but the ones I could, and everybody has a positive outlook on putting them back in. They really didn't want them out before, but somehow nobody was asked, and they'd like to see them back in.
Up there.
Yeah, on 3rd and 4th. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about 3rd. I mean, I see folks drive by my house rather fast and then stop before it. So really, where I live, it doesn't make a damn difference whether they're there or not.
On 3rd Street.
3rd Street.
Well, I think Debbie, you guys were in on it. Jim he was good with it.
I'm not.
You're not? You don't like them?
We were in there before, they didn't do any good, they took them out, why spend the money to put it back in again?
Yeah. Everybody on 4th Street was,
Speed bumps.
they got
They made
kids
them
that
bigger.
day one.
gotta stay close in the white line, you know, to meet that, to staying in there. They're throwing that at us, as a possible solution for 142nd Avenue. And, you know, that's, if it's good for them, I mean, you know, it may be, well, something the council needs to consider.
How do you narrow it down? I mean, lines, perhaps, just lines, make it,
Yeah, you narrow the lines down so that you stay within the lines, you know.
Where's the answer to that? Can you explain that to us?
Is you're just narrowing the travel lanes, so, it is just with the white lines.
so they've got their center white line going down.
So
And you ring
you
in.
bring in the white lines on the edge.
Is there still plenty of room for two cars to pass in that, it's to the appearance thing? They're still perfectly capable of getting, meeting two vehicles through that place, and it looks like it's getting narrowed down, as people look at it.
It's a visual.
It was nice when it's closed. States to go.
Yeah, a lot of it, they walk to your end of the street.
Yeah, let's anybody else, you know, this is your chance to ask us questions.
John Hathaway, 14135 Northeast 3rd Street. Address the one-way street deal. I see that you have 3rd Street going north, 4th Street going south, and 5th Street going north again. My proposal for this would be, is to make all 3 streets one-way going north. Therefore, then, all your school traffic, everything would come up 142nd, up 6th, down 141st Avenue, which is the way the school put out a letter to them to try to get people to come anyway. And therefore, you're not wearing out our city streets because those are county streets. And by making all 3 of them north, then you've caused everybody to come up this way. And you're not going to inconvenience anybody by whether 3 of them are all north or 2 of them are and 1 south. People are still going to have to go around, but you eliminated your school traffic from coming on to our city streets and wearing out our streets, plus you just made everybody use, well, because if we had some city deal here, this would be kind of considered our main street, so you got them coming through Main Street and down the Main Street to the school, which is also the school bus route, and then you wouldn't have anybody in your residential areas. That's my proposal for the one-way streets. Because if
Nothing
you,
wrong with that.
because if you do like your proposal here, where you make 4th Street this way, south, then everybody that's coming in from Ankeny, Polk City, wherever, they're all gonna come up 4th Street and then go down the same way. When you say, well, they could go on and then back behind the school and there, but I walked up there tonight and they're down by the grade school. They've got an arm there, and then they've got 3 big concrete pillars. So I assume in the school period time, they take those blocks and block that all off, so the only access they have in and out that way is if somebody has the clicker or whatever to raise that arm up, or that's for emergencies or whatever. I don't know, I'm asking you. as a
I've never
council.
seen that in operation
It's
myself.
that, but there's 3 big,
And those blocks are always there during the school year.
They'll be removing those for our,
Permanently?
no, just for our project here, because
Oh,
we will be
Those
blocking
blocks.
3rd, 4th, and 5th for the overlay, so
I'm not there.
they can't be moved.
well, that's what not what I'm talking about. I'm talking up behind the junior high.
At the elementary school.
That's what
Clear
he's,
down at the far end.
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you get an arm that comes out, and
place in the school year to keep traffic from being,
They did
A
for
flow
their project that they had going on, they had some specific ways they wanted people to go because of their construction and everything.
They're trying to
They were-
protect their parking
So-
for their staff.
Yeah.
And that's it, plain and simple. I've talked to him, I'm doing this phase with, Klein, and I want them to, well, back up, I want them to put a roundabout in front of their junior high and a street out to Sixth. That's why I was holding the building permit for the $17 million bond issue, but was outvoted on that. But, they just absolutely, for some reason, are trying to protect behind the junior high and at our expense.
okay, so in that essence like that, then it would not make any real difference if you made 4th Street come into town because it's gonna have to turn one way or the other.
Cross
So
traffic.
you would be better off to make off be able to go north. Okay, as far as pedestrian walk, that's another item on there. Pedestrian walk, I wonder what streets if you're talking to put pedestrian walks on the streets.
It'd be 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
3rd, 4th, and 5th. Okay,
Just their local streets,
Just the one-way streets.
okay, and you put it, and what would that curtail as far as what it would be? A line on the
Well,
road?
center, they got it right here, down there, walkway, got a 2-foot buffer and a 14-foot lane.
Yeah, down here.
Normal strips, painted hatch or vertical.
Okay,
So we park on those streets. We're allowed to park on one side of those streets. And I back out of my driveway as do every other person here. And I just don't know about them pylons. What are they? Are those poles? I mean, where are you gonna put them? We got driveways, we got side streets. I mean, not much, but we got them.
Yeah, with this, you would not be allowed to park on the street.
You wouldn't be allowed to park on the street? Okay.
That's bad.
Oh, they
What
got
do
some
you think
getting
of that?
out of the driveway.
Yeah, I don't know if I think backing into your yard more.
What do you think about not eliminating parking on your street?
I don't care if people park, cause I might need
But I
to
mean,
park.
as far as you personally.
It doesn't bother me. If
She's
people park
got
on
a
the street.
60-foot driveway.
really
I
doesn't-
mean, get a consensus, trying to get a consensus here, what do you think about one way and parking on the streets? That's a big.
Well, yeah, family functions too. If you got a lot of family, we're gonna have to park out the street.
Well, no, you can't. You won't be able to.
Yeah.
No, no.
You could still park on 141st Place, but not on 140th. Because basically what you're doing is you're taking the pedestrian walkway, and that's making the place for parking.
And we are providing a place for them to park on 141st Place, and they can walk on the safe sidewalk to your
Yes,
house.
yes.
We don't have any sidewalks.
No, I mean, but that's, with the one way, will delineate, that's the side of the street that's safe for people to walk.
Well, what I'm thinking too is if all of us people that live on 3rd and 4th should happen to come home during a half hour of school. I mean, we gotta turn down this street also. And we've lived here and blah, 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 blah. And we have to sit in that line with all the school traffic.
I don't, with this, on my street, get there, because that's what they use now to get to the junior high and back is 3rd Street. And nobody else does either, nobody sits in line, if they're blocked up all in there, you just look to see when he's coming, and you come on down and go through there, just like they do on 141st Avenue, because they still have quite a few people that come in that way too, which causes problems, because now you've got 3rd Street trying to merge with 141st Avenue traffic to get to the school. And people just pull out and go around, and they come up our road, or, so nobody really sits in line to wait for the school line to do. You just look
is that a morning thing and an afternoon thing? Is that drop off and pick up?
Yes.
Or is it just?
So they'll be backed up by the post office here. That's what I'm talking about when we come home. If we have one-way streets going north, we'll be backed up down by the post office to get to your street.
And then what's that do for emergency vehicles?
Correct, Perry?
That could be a bad scenario.
How about if we make third, fourth, next street run? How about make third, fourth, and fifth dead ends? And 45th.
And everybody come down to 141st place.
Everybody come down.
I go to a lot of towns. I've never seen a half a block. Basically, that's what third and fourth is a half block long. I've never traveled a street this one way, and I've, so
I
I'm
make it a dead end, all at the, what is it, 140th?
141st place.
Yeah, make a dead end of
Avenue.
all of them.
Yeah.
So we all have to come in on 142 and go to our house, and when we leave, we go back out. It's two ways, but it's a dead end, you can't get to the school.
Only for an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon.
But you know, we're backed up around the corner
I
on
see, yeah.
142nd in the morning and in the afternoon. So they'll be backed up over here. Probably worse because you've got all three of the schools.
Well, they already are, because there
But
is
then
enough
you have
people
the high
this
school and
way.
junior.
You've got enough people coming down 141st Avenue already, and you still got 3rd Street backed up all the way to 142nd Street. So there is no real,
The other thing is,
real
it's
good.
gonna force Polk County to really step up, do something with their intersection at 6th and 142nd. And they're in that process right now of designing something. I think it's gonna flaw all the traffic counts. If we do something, it's gonna force cars to other places. So, those traffic counts will be null, but, there's a lot of scenarios here, and we wanna see what we can, do. We're not gonna appease everybody, but this is the first time we've really kinda sat down and come up with, some ideas. And this is, a speed bumps are $2,500 apiece, there's speed, something else, it's even bigger. And, getting down to the crunch time on asphalt, and, winter's coming, and so we wanna try to narrow it down a little bit as to the council and see what we can do. And this is good information from you.
What's the effect on your snow removal equipment with speed bumps?
That's not a number.
Yeah,
The guy that's pushing the snow doesn't like it.
What are those pylons? Are you gonna manually?
Depends on what type of pylons they are. There's removable ones. There's set place ones.
We haven't really gotten that far, looking as far as
Yeah.
what thing they are, but
I don't really think in our town, most of the time, there's that many people that walk that weren't having the walking taking up streets, which are for cars, taking up the space for people to walk. When people do walk, it's usually after hours or early in the morning. And I just think that the walking path on the roads that's for cars.
See, it's different down on 134th. We got a lot of walkers.
Okay.
Love to walk.
Put the walking path down there then. You
Well,
want
I
it
mean,
down there?
I'd love to, because people are scared to death down there, they're gonna get run down. They love to walk with their kids, their dogs, pushing strollers, I've seen it all.
And you do have people walking from here all the way down to there on 6th Street. So are you
Yeah.
gonna be able to get Polk County to give you the authority to make,
Tried that. Tried that, I've requested that many times.
and they won't do it? Okay.
Farm to Market Road, they give you all kinds of,
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm gonna ask the first question. Did you guys take into consideration making Third Street go south, leaving Fourth Street go south, that way they come into the school parking lots, come around, and exit, to the north on First Street and, Sixth, they will get that into consideration.
If you make Third Street south, then you've got the same problem you have right now. All those people coming in and.
That's why I was saying that Third and Fourth Street south, Fifth and Sixth north.
What do you accomplish? You can't change Sixth because that's a county road. The county ain't gonna let you do that. So what, I don't see the purpose of making Third Street south because all that traffic is still coming in.
You're just
I know
shifting,
you're really not,
you're shifting.
you're
the
trying to slow traffic down
Traffic
in the
down.
town and stuff, but at the same time, as we're trying to slow traffic down, let's reroute the traffic out of our rural streets there. So I think your best, my 2 cents worth for the,
Okay, you're just your 2 cents, and then I wanna hear from other people as to what your thoughts are. Go ahead.
my thoughts are either make all 3 streets go north or don't do anything at all. Speed bumps? No, you had them in once, they didn't really work, you took them out, now we're gonna spend the money to put them in again. And as far as walking paths, the roads are for cars, not bicycles and.
You don't call them walking paths, you call them sidewalks.
Well, so that's a walkway, and you could eliminate the walkway and have one lanes all going whichever way, all going north, for example. And then get rid of the walkway and just make that for parking. You have a lane going north, you have a lane for parking. So you could do that.
Oh.
I say make little Johnny ride the bus, then we wouldn't have these
I'd
problems.
love to do that.
I say charge every parent, I know many of them.
Yeah, and we can't force the school to do anything. They wanna do their thing.
But my idea is leave it the way it is, allow people to park on the street if they need to, and not have to worry about being harassed about it, and that's just
When I bought a car, just let it sit in the street for the next 3 years.
what?
When I bought a car, just let it sit in the street for
Yeah.
3 years.
As long as you
need
move it
to move it
2
every
inches,
2 hours.
as long as you move it 2 inches every 2 days.
Yeah.
Is that right? Do that. Because they bitch when they were working on my house. Everyone that came in to pick up their kids were bitching because why'd they park their construction vehicles in the street?
So-
We gotta wait for them, we gotta wait and take turns to go around. That's what they were bitching about.
I have kind of an issue with it because we have a temporary problem throughout the year. It's not all the time, it's not all through the year. You're going to inconvenience residents because they're going to have to alter their path in and out. Whether you do it north or south of my road, it's going to interrupt what I do every day, which that's selfish of me, but, can we just tell the school to self-police it and say, hey, if you're gonna drop your kids off on this way, go around? Can we do that? Can we have, maybe Old County help us on that?
Been there, done that for years.
Would that be a talking point to the school? Instead of spending the money, instead of messing around with signage with all the other stuff that goes with it, because we are not a very rich city, as you know. I hate to see us utilize money that could be utilized for something else and to deal with a problem that's, at 8 o'clock and 3 o'clock until May, and then again.
And also, if we tried that, we could try it for, 6 months, see if it works. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, yank the signs, go back tomorrow. It's not tough to do that. So that's an option too. Sure, I'm going around the room. What do you think?
months after the work uptown gets done, the blacktop gets put in place, come back and look at this again, see whether we wanna do this or just paint walk marks, whatever.
But we need, if they're gonna put in the speed bumps, the time they do it is when they come back and repay, because they're here. So what was just for the speed bump that we were gonna put in?
I don't think we're going to do it.
No, they won't, they'll actually do, so they won't do it when they do the overlay, they'll come back, in the spring, and then they'll out a section. So they all fit together, yeah, so they fit together correctly, otherwise it just won't work out very well, so.
And what was the cost? I thought it was around $500, just to put the.
$2,500 per.
Really?
And these aren't speed bumps, they're speed calming humps, so they're, you know, they have a slightly shorter crown, height, and they're slightly wider.
Well, won't you be in somebody's driveway if you put in the 22-foot one?
We're not putting it, that's a speed table, we're not putting in a 22-foot, these are, you know, they can range between 3 to 5 foot, you know, wide, but they're not a little speed bump. The little speed bumps, those are used in parking lots, and they're meant to extremely slow you down, like get you at, you know, 5 miles an hour, and they do a lot of extreme damage to vehicles, so that's not something that we would put in, but they're $2,500 a piece. They would come back in the spring, and do this, and it's, I guess it's dependent on what roads they wanna go in, as to what the mobilization would actually cost, because that does not include mobilization. They're gonna have to come in, we're gonna pay mobilization on that, so, there's gonna be an extra, you know, an excess cost on top of that $2,500. So,
And along with that, I've looked on Amazon, we saw a range of speed bumps that we could attach, pull out,
I would-
wait an hour, put them back away. I mean, pretty,
I
a
would-
whole lot, you've seen them out there in the park.
Oh, yeah.
I would advise this council against doing that purely because we are going to have, you know, a new lift on these roads. And those require that we anchor those to the roads, and then when we remove them, they're meant to be removed in winter, so you can't really plow over it. Now we've opened up our roads to be undermined, and cause damage. You get the water down in there, you get the freeze, and we're just gonna end up, yeah. Sorry, passionate about it.
I like the little ones, because they're.
Also, Mike, you share with us your thoughts on that.
You guys' job is to keep things going and figure out for this particular problem, the least expensive, the least disruptive for the citizens of all of it. And changing things to one-way streets, that is, it's not gonna affect me directly, because I live on 141st Avenue. So no matter, any kind of a change is going to affect, it's going to, could make my problem worse. Because they're always in front of my house, and if you make the line even longer, then that's gonna be more of a problem for me. I've got all of us that's going by my house every day, coming and going. So, changing the streets is not really not gonna help me. And it's going to, for a problem that is 1 hour a day on school days, I think you need to do this least disruptive. There's already no parking on both sides of the streets. So how about if we just get some enforcement? These people are coming in and they're parking their cars and looking at their phones. In your cars where the car's running, that's illegal. Write them a ticket. They're blocking streets, write them a ticket. They're blocking driveways, write them a ticket. If you try to change the street directions, you're gonna have law enforcement in here doing that, but they're gonna be here 24/7. Just to guard the streets. We won't have to worry about when the school's coming and going. When they're dropping off, there's probably not that much. I'm usually not up that early, so I don't know if it's causing me a problem during the drop-off time. It's the after school where we see most of it. But just have some enforcement of these people who are parked there for half an hour waiting for their kids. It'd be nice if they're already paying for the school bus and the taxes. Why don't they put the kids on the bus? Why are they spending all their time sitting there?
portion of the meeting, and the city council will discuss, we have our next Monday night, we have our banner back and forth, and talking about next month's schedule and, or next meeting, and we will really be talking about this front and center. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody for coming to the meeting, giving us input, because this is the most I've seen at one of our meetings for a long time. And I think it's important that we get your thoughts. I know we're on television, there's probably a lot of people that are listening, and watching this also. Hopefully we'll get some social media, comments from everybody. But I'll close the forum now, and we'll go to our action items. The first up is to review the applications for the open council seat. I believe you have only one in front of you, unless one is something later. And it's from former councilman Bill Stevens. Does anybody have any questions for Bill at this time? Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to consider a council appointment. It can be Bill, or it can be anyone sitting here, it can be anybody. But I would entertain a motion to consider filling the council seat that Amanda Woods has vacated. And do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion
And your motion is?
to accept Bill as a temporary councilman.
And this is for 2 months, right? Till December 31st. And do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I got a second. Let's have a roll call, please.
Discussion.
Or, I'm sorry, discussion, I'm sorry.
So my question, just for clarity, if we don't do this, we have to have someone to fill this role. And if we don't do it this way, we have to have a special election or whatever.
Yes. And they're about $2,000.
Again, I remember in the last year. That was all, it was just a clarity thing, you know, where it has to be done, and there's only 2 ways that it can be done.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Andreas?
What are you looking for, yes or no?
Yes. Mr. President? Mr. Smith?
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, congratulations, Bill. Take a seat. Now the hot seat right now, Bill.
Can you stand here, maybe
Right now.
this oath for everybody to know?
Yeah, right now she needs to swear to this. She's all swear to stay in front of her.
Yes, and you can look at everybody, whatever you want to do.
I, Bill Stevens, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Washington, and will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my abilities, chart and all took them off of the street. Is that a possibility,
That's up to the boss. We got rid of those, I can't remember how long ago. And we had two of them also, put out various different locations. We got rid of those.
And the situation we have here isn't just here. What is that, Northwest Elementary in Ankeny, I've been through there and I've worked there. They got the cars lined out on the street, sitting on it. They got a lot wider streets than we do. And longer streets, and people can maneuver a lot better than our little half-block streets and everything. But it's just not here, up on 3rd Street. Ankeny has a problem. I go to a lot of small towns, and if you're there at the right time, there's cars, and there's 20 or 30 cars sitting out there.
It was nice when the city is closed.
I don't know. I've never.
suggestions as to
But yeah,
where
they're
we
sitting.
can go
It was
to?
nice.
Yeah.
We had the same.
So-
Lieutenant's got this floor here, we've talked about all this. I know, but you're right. Let the lieutenant talk. Do you have any ideas?
We had issues with that in Bondurant.
I can't hear you, sir.
We had issues with that in Bondurant for,
Right.
you know, the city, they put those two elementary schools right next to each other. A lot of traffic coming through there. A lot of people park on the streets, waiting, just the overflow. You know, it kind of is what it is. There's nowhere for them to wait for their kids. What we wound up doing is talking to the school and the city and putting, I think some of the issue was people were trying to turn left against traffic, which was then backing everybody up out of Humboldt at that spot. So that's one of the issues that we had. We just put no left turns during, you know, whatever that first hour is during the day. The morning drop off and then the afternoon drop off. Almost overnight, problem solved.
So you put a no right turn on 3rd Street?
I don't know what during school drop off.
That's the problem, is they come in and drop them off, well, there's no right.
That's just
turn.
another option.
That's an option.
You know,
Yeah.
the signs on it, so.
Yeah.
It's just during
You do
that.
that on 4th Street.
But you'd have to be there to enforce it.
We had our school resource officers out there, as well as, which then we also have Bondurant cars, the signs also. So we could have, 2, if not 4 cars that staying in, making sure that we did. Until it really caught, you know, the school put out.
So you could do that at the end of 3rd Street, so they couldn't turn to go down to elementary school on all them streets. They'd all have to go to 141st. No right turn.
Yeah, it's kind of, whatever you guys come up with, you know.
Yeah, well, that's
That's a good option.
that is. I never thought of that signage deal.
But you're still gonna have to have them there
Oh.
enforcing it.
Well, for the school, till you gotta change people's habits.
2 to 4.
So, yeah, that's just another option. Okay, yeah.
That's good.
Thanks for that.
Thank you, for that, sir. That helps.
Thanks, thanks for your patience. We need to make a motion to send it forward.
No, sir.
Oh, you changed the.
That's a lot
Make a motion.
Okay, next up is,
Forest.
Yeah,
Are you looking at the right agenda?
Next up is, Forest Alder from Eastern Kent, Forester up.
The first item on the agenda is a
Let's, please quiet, we gotta be quiet so we can hear here. Go ahead, Forrest.
First item on the agenda is making payment for partial payment estimate number 1 to jet drain for the storm drainage improvements. And that is in the amount of $152,738.30. And that is for work completed to date and for stored materials. They have some pipe materials and intakes that are on site. So, paying for stored materials. I brought copies for everybody.
They have.
They do? Okay. Well, in case you don't.
They're invoiced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. No, Warren Dean is a supplier, yes.
Okay, first, you explained it, sure. project north of 134th, I believe that's, Logan.
No, that's
That's
Forest
Forest, I'm sorry.
Road. I requested that Forest draw up something.
We need to put the, it is, right underneath Forest. I'm sorry.
So, this is just a discussion item, and I'm, sorry I wasn't able to make the last. But I just wanted to, there was a discussion about the trains north of 134th and, maybe looking at some of this, so I just wanted to see what, sorry. Faith in you there. And then I did another, I kind of looked a little bit. Kind of zoomed in a little bit. So
So this one here.
Okay, Forrest, we have the floor.
oh, sorry. So it was just at the last work session, and I've been talking to Logan, and there's some drainage issues back behind, and some tile lines, and there's maybe some interest in having us look at some drainage improvements with this, maybe look at what size tile should be there. You had a proposal from Tyler. So I just kind of brought these maps so I could get a better understanding of what you're wanting us to look at or not look at, or.
Okay.
Would you like me to take this?
That's discussion, there's
No,
no
discussion.
for any action.
No action items, so let's discuss. Lauren, you have the floor.
The thought process here for the future too is get a system, pick up these drain tiles out of these fields, get them running down by Bill's place down there, that waterway goes underneath the road on 134th there.
Yeah, that kind of the concrete foam.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And make that behind, to the west of there and to the east, probably the high point on that hill there, and get that all drained down that way. And the thought process is, in the future, we could set that up, put it in the right of way, and that would dictate the elevations of the basements, future basements and thing. It might be such a issue that controls some of these other field tiles that's running clear across down to the 4 Mile Creek, like to you guys' backyards and stuff like that. If we could get a location on it, maybe that alleviate that issue. And like Bob had, that clogged that issue in his house, the septic systems were working, and it might be an issue or something that would help these other people with these other issues with basement drainage, septic tank drainage. But the idea of it is to get it now, get it in the right of ways, then it sets the precedent for future elevations for future houses, and plus addresses some of this other stuff, because before long we're gonna have another tile issue in somebody's yard or something. From what I understand from years ago, that the other city manager we had, he had tiles, and he said there's tiles that run through these neighborhoods, clear down 4 Mile Creek or to that pocket park over there. From what I understand.
I've seen it. So if I can
Well,
shed
we've
some
seen
light
it.
on that.
So if we could pick that up, and then at the top of the hill, wherever it is, and then go east to Highway 69 there, that's be a future project there too. And it'll address some of these water issues behind these houses, because they got water standing back there because it's not graded right. So that's just my thought.
Forest.
So are the tiles, they're out here in the field, they're just kind of running through the
Yeah, we
neighborhoods?
think they're kind of, we don't know where they're at for sure. They're right through here. And there's one behind Bobby's house is right here, but they dug it out, deeper, and that's why it was so low. We got close to 6 feet deep. Right, so I'm imagining some of these might be 5 or 6 feet deep. And if you go to where the tree is.
Right here.
Right here, you go to there, and horizontally bore it from this point to this point. So pick up right here somewhere.
So it's kind of run a tile here, and then here's the high point,
Where,
like,
yeah.
let's say here.
I always had, first house.
Right over here, we're just moving trees.
But I-
Straddles both lines, or no, there's an inlet there. And there's a tree growth in there. Something.
Over here, outside.
It doesn't work, guys, when there's several people talking at once. Warren's got the floor, and he's talking with Forrest, and I'm hoping that the council can hear what he's saying and showing him. But other than that, we need to keep it down, because it's really hard to hear.
Okay, so what Lauren is saying is, run wherever the high point is here, and over here, we run a tile, size yet to be determined, pick up these subdrains that are coming off the field, going through the neighborhoods, pick those up, and then, probably can't, what you're probably thinking is, that'd be too deep to dump into that concrete channel.
Right, that'd be too deep to tile. That's why you want a horizontal bore.
So your horizontal bore kind of parallel to that concrete trough, and then try and daylight it somewhere in the creek on the south side of 134th in the trees or something.
That or tie it into underneath the culvert, underneath the road too.
Yeah,
They're going into the road.
yeah, might be able to, we'll just have to see what elevations we end up with.
The big things would be elevations of the drains. That's the big thing.
Did find it on the tile, that little pink field.
So Forrest,
Because it has water too.
I apologize.
Yeah, but they need.
I apologize, Scott.
No, you're fine.
So the original intention of you looking into this was the similar conversation that had started with Andreas and myself. The original thought to put all that back there was to take. There are 3 tiles that are back there. I do not know the locations of where they go through the town, other than 2 of those. One of them I do not know that location, but I know exactly where they are in the field. We would run that, tie into there, and place structures appropriately, depending on what they decide, whether they wanted to take the overland in as well, or just the tile. And so that was the original intention, was to abandon the lines coming through the town, of which there are 3.
How do you know that? This is my the whole thing of my.
So because I have,
How do we know?
so I have found them in the field.
You can't find one.
Well, we found that one clear back in the field. We don't know where it is when it hits close to the residential, but we know for a fact that there are 3. There could potentially be more that we don't know about, absolutely. But we do know that there's 3. We do know that they come through town. We do know that they're an issue. But it falls to the council to decide whether you want to only take up the tile water, or you also want to have DK design something to allow the capacity for the overland flow, which is what Forrest and I had kind of originally discussed quite a while back. So
And you told, and you understand where that 20-foot easement is by his house?
there's
Where the tiles are. So,
right.
address that issue.
Yeah. So what we would do is we would still keep that easement, but that line would be abandoned, so there would no longer be active flow in there.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
When you put this line in, you build a fine tile once you start digging through there.
Right, but
You think there's 3 could be fine.
we also have to have easements in perpetuity for this, because where we would have to build, it's currently not city property, so.
what is the property owner? Is he on board with?
It's Muhlenthal. Well, I mean, we'd be taking up the tile flow from his field, so I would, as far as I know.
As soon as you talk to him, if he doesn't.
I think Bill has a pretty good rapport with
I've
him.
talked to him a couple times, he doesn't seem like he's been playing with it. Because people want to play to it all the time, water balls on there anyway. They just want to use this shape. But shit had been done before the clock. When all these houses on 134th was built, so those lines been cut through and brought down to the waterway to begin with, before the clock was even accepted. Should have been done back in the day when the city first had this done.
That would have been ideal, yes.
You know, so, to me, I think the city needs to fix the problem. We can do it a decent way. Right way.
Yeah, I think this idea would work, we just need to find out, how deep those trees are, so we don't. Worst thing we wanna do is put this tile in and find out that, one of them is this much lower than the new pipe, and we can't get it in there.
Right, you gotta address that as we go.
Well, we know one of them's almost 7 foot deep.
I've not never been opposed to doing something back there, it's just the process in which we do it, to include our city engineer to make sure we're doing it for the right way for now, and the right way, if that area gets developed somehow. We would have it all happen, all those things in mind.
And hopefully there's tiles that go into that pocket park, whether they're the drain. And we think they come from behind you guys' house.
That's
This pocket park,
You think
we
they-
think the drains
No, I actually do know. I had those
that
televised.
go up in here, and we think there's a couple field tiles. This 20-foot easement back
Yeah.
through there. I know there's at least one, if not two, at least there's another one back this way.
Sure,
So, instead of this house, this box marks right here, we know there's at least one tile from here, from here somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, next up, this project.
Hold on, Bob.
Yes, sir.
What were you talking about?
I think, so I was just saying, I think when we originally wanted to get, of course, well, we wanted to come and look at the town-based plans, I don't know if you want to spend $25,000 on a deed plan, if you fix the town-based plan,
It's something that he's got to stay on.
now,
We have to do what he suggests.
yeah.
Either way, we can look at what he came up with, or if you want to do. The process to do this, there's a couple ways. One is, we need to get easements, city easements, so we get our land surveyor involved, he would put together, permit easement for where this lake goes. Beyond that, if, the tile art has a plan, and, we can review that and do some calculations on the size of pipe he's proposing and say, needs to really be bigger than that. The other option would be us to size the pipe, put together plans and specs, stamp it with our engineering stamp, and go out for bids for this, or quotes. And get more than just the one person. Now, legally, the dollar amount I think you're getting from him is under your threshold, so you would not have to do it. We didn't want to.
Forrest,
There's other ways to go.
Forrest, a quick note, he anticipated just going slightly past that, second, draw to the east there.
Okay.
It was not the full width that we had previously discussed, so that, just to keep that in mind.
But if there's a tile that's going from that pocket park and going northeast, I think you wanna go a little further east.
That is correct,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to, with his anticipation, we would not be able to pick up that, that one that runs the pocket.
So don't forget about that tile dumpster that catch basin right there by that pocket park.
That's-
Kind of by you guys' house.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. The
And that
original
other
plan
white tile I'm
proposed,
talking about, I don't know where that really goes.
yeah, the original plan proposed by
Yeah.
the Tyler did not include that area, so we would not have been able to pick that up.
Right.
And if we move forward on that, then the council needs to be aware that there
That'd
will
be a
be,
another project.
well, no, there will be repairs that need to be made, because I had that jetted televised, and there is damage to it. We were able to get it flowing now, with the anticipation that maybe something was gonna be moving, so, there's multiple facets to this that we have to discuss.
Okay, any other, questions for Forrest? I plan on, putting this on our agenda for next Monday night, for board discussion, along with, the other, items that we want to talk about. So with that, this council member, another question, we will move to, yeah, we'd like to, get a motion and a second to receive and file Alleman planning and zoning reports. So need a motion?
You need to set a public hearing for, since and he's on his as a group, we can talk about that.
The comprehensive plan. So if we pass this, it's got a lot of repetition in it. It's a state required, document that we need to have on file. It shows that we are aware of the, capacity of the I-35 corridor, progressing with housing, construction, the whole, increase of what our community could have if this all, comes to pass, the I-35 corridor. It shows you the population increase, it shows you housing and the potential of commercial properties and everything. All this can be changed at any time that the city council wants to get together and adjust this that we've passed. So the acceptance is not a permanent solid, you can't change it. We can change it as we go to make it work for the city. So that's basically the company.
What's the benefit of having this comprehensive plan? How will it help us?
It shows that we are involved in the growth of the northern Polk County. It is a state requirement to have that, and
You need it for your annexation process too.
oh,
I wanted that to be, in order for us to grow, in order for us to annex, nobody will take us seriously until we have that.
exactly. It shows that we're involved in the whole process of everything that's going on around us, in us, and so we've accepted it at our last meeting. We had a Beecham Kim guy come and talk about